Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden, and welcome to Shifting Perspectives. All right. I am going to talk today on It's Not Fair. I had a smackdown with these feelings earlier today. And because of my 12th perspective, it was a open it up. If these are the new feelings, you accept them, and these are the new feelings. So let's talk about the phrase, it's not fair. Now, this is not a phrase I have ever used in my life, ever, until now, the 30th of November. I was taking a shower earlier today, and I felt anger. I love anger. It's my favorite emotion. I felt anger. And I finally had this massive moment of, it's not fair. Now, this reminds me of the day that I was with my partner back a year and a half ago. And there was this moment where I just paused in the middle of everything with him and just cried and said, poor me. And he held me, he rubbed my back, and he said, you know, I don't think you have ever said those words in your life. Yeah, poor you. Cry it out. This is why he's my partner. And I did, and I just sobbed and I shook and I cried it all out. Poor me. There was a lot of healing that day. Last night I was talking with one of my clients, and in the middle of the healing process, I remembered something, a lot of something, like all of my memories from infancy to 5. My subconscious mind decided that that was the moment to say, you need all of your memories back. And I was not ready for them because I was with the client. So I got off the call, and it was a whole lot of, there's a reason why I forgot those memories. And what I loved was, because I had my shit together, I was able to just cry and take it all in and just process it. It was so funny because I'm just like, process it, just process it, just process it and understand it. Yep. And I gave myself a lot of TLC. And then this morning, I felt solid, and I took a shower, and I had that anger of, it's not fair. I love networking. I love business. That is my happy place. And one of the things that I have realized in my own healing journey is, well, there's no pretty way to say this. I cannot function outside of business and network. Friendships? No, no, I don't do those. Love, romance? No, they just don't work out for me. Which is why I don't do any work with couples or with love or with romance, because I don't do that shit. I know the technicality. I have it all in Triadic Healing. I have the technical. This is what you're supposed to do. But there's 2 parts to romance. There is the quality of the person, and then there is the actual technical side. Now, I have the technical side down, and I have my person. My person. And what we have works for us. But what doesn't work for us is the patriarchy. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Let me explain this to you because this is it right here. The patriarchy does not work. Marriage? No, no, that doesn't work. No. Incompatible. Friend or partner or lover or wife, that doesn't work for me. That is one of those scars that's left over from my trauma that is never going to go away. In order for that to go away, I have to expose myself to the slave system again. And I don't see a single reason to do that. So when I walk away, bottom line is my only PTSD trigger left is psychological manipulation. Bottom line. Yeah, it's a that's my trigger. And I cannot step foot into the patriarchy without being psychologically manipulated. Boom, drop mic. That's it. That's it. The system is so toxic that to be in the patriarchy or the system is to be psychologically manipulated. I don't do that. So I can't be in the system because I would have to be okay with being subjected to psychological manipulation. And I'm not. And it's saturated in our labels, and it's saturated in our names and in our behavior and in our language and in our jobs and in our society and in the marketing. And so I just can't be in the system because when I step into that system, you have to be okay with psychological manipulation. You drive down the road and you see a billboard and how much subliminal messaging is being rammed down your throat from a marketing campaign. Yeah, no thanks. I have boycotted marketing and advertising since 1995. I have not seen a commercial since 1995 because I figured out that there is subliminal messaging in those things, and I'm not okay with being psychologically manipulated. So I can't hear people talk about feminine and masculine without my eye twitching. I can't hear wife and hubby and all those terms without my eye twitching because it's psychological manipulation. And once you become aware of how and what took place to get it in there so that we're all mindlessly repeating a bunch of garbage, that's the point. Why are you mindlessly repeating a bunch of words that you don't know the meaning to? It's because you're parroting. Yeah, I know too much about the subconscious mind. Way too much about the subconscious mind. So I went, yeah, I have a significant allergy to psychological manipulation, which means that all of the friendship stuff I cannot participate in, and all of the relationship stuff I can't participate in, and all of the job stuff I cannot participate in. The system abused me so deeply that it made me 100% incompatible with the system, which is why I studied for 30 years. Because what do you do for 30 years when you can't get a job because you can't function because people are psychologically manipulating you? You study. So I learned for 30 years while everyone else went out and got a job. So I know shit. And I created a business built off of my own psychology that's purely ethical, that allows me to function. And I built a homestead and a lifestyle purely of my own composition so I can function. And I created a social ship. I created a social ship that allowed me to function. Now, here's the problem. I got my social ship, I've got my household, my kids conform to it. My kids live between both. My daughter can leave the house and she can go to the school and she can function in that insanity. And then she comes back and she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, I know. That's why I left it. Illogical insanity. It's out the door. And then she comes into my world and she's like, I can be free and I can, and her independence and her identity is all over the place. And I love it. She's like, yeah, like she is born free. And I'm like, yes, I love it. And my son has found a way that works for him and he's fantastic. But when someone wants to come into my world, it's an understanding that, look, I live in a different world. I grew up here. I've been here since I was 4 years old. And every time I try and leave, I become significantly mental ill. I'm cured because I exited the system. And if I go back into that system, I'm not okay. Because one of the requirements of living in that system is being psychologically manipulated and being okay with it. But the amount of psychological manipulation that I endured for 40 years took a toll on me. And I cannot ever recover from it. Now, here, I can function. It just means that, well, entrepreneur life for me. Now, how many people can come into my world? And that's my problem. They can come in and they can dabble. They can come in and they can explore it. But they have to come into my world. I can't go into theirs. I tried. And I have people who are like, we'll meet on neutral ground. But then they start asking me questions about my day job and they start asking me questions and I can't even navigate their fourth perspective questions. You don't know me yet. And if you were to try, it would go like this. I have my media face. I have my business face. Now the business, because it's entrepreneurial, that allows me the freedom. I live in a world that's all mine. And I can step out into a balcony that is neutral ground. And that balcony is the land of entrepreneurship. Now, people see me on this balcony and they can join me on the balcony and they can be like, oh, you're different. Oh, yeah, I'm different. And they say things to me and then they go back to their world and I come back to Anna land. But they go back to the patriarchy and the system. But this entrepreneur world, this platform is the only one I can go into. That's it. That is literally the only one. And I tried when I was with my partner. He had the entrepreneur platform, and then he had a platform with some friendships, and then he had a networking event, and then and this was part of the mental illness, is I went into his little land A, and then I went into his little area B, and then we went into his other area C, and then I finally said, I got to go back to Anna land. So I went back to Anna land, and now I live in Anna land. And I can go and I can step out on this platform of networking, which is basically a giant gala where it's a whole lot of people from all over the world all meeting together, and everyone's looking at everybody else and they're going, "Wow, what do you do?" And because it's neutral ground, it's the neutral zone. I can be myself, flaunt my stuff, and be awesome. And people are like, "Wow." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm awesome. I know." And then I go back to Land. But this is where people are like, "Oh, you should come here." And I go, "No, I can't. I have to stay in Land." And my partner is the only one so far who is compatible with Land. He is the only one compatible. So if I were to completely strip down everything and go over what it looks like, if you wanted to get closer, this is what it looks like. If you call me your friend, I would say, no, that has yet to be seen. I would say this directly to you. You would say, we're friends now. And I would say, no, that has yet to be seen. Most people at this point get offended. Well, what does that mean? Yeah. Well, that means that I evaluate a person's integrity over a period of time, anywhere from 3 months to 2 years, before I decide if you are good for me. And I would really hope and encourage that you do the same. If you are jumping to a conclusion to call me friend within the first 5 minutes, you really need to step back and evaluate your boundaries. And I'm going to tell you that to your face. At this point, people in that entrepreneurial neutral zone go, "Oh, that's really insightful." Yes, it is. And then I would go and I would get a glass of wine, and someone would come over and they would try to flirt. And they would usually start off with something like, "So, are you married?" No, I would say to them, that is not what you are asking me. What you are asking is if there's a husband in your way. That is not the appropriate question to ask me. At that point, they usually have a whole lot of names for me, and I really don't give a shit anymore. And I walk away. There is only one right question to ask me, and that is a question I do not give out because, well, that's my psychological test. And if they ask the right question, then I'm surprised because almost no one can ask this actual question. The question to ask confirms that, wow, look at that. You're actually acknowledging my autonomy. But I would not be condescending when I said that. I would be surprised. And then I would say, wow, thank you for actually acknowledging my autonomy. I appreciate it. To which I would then say, no, I am not. The next thing, if they ask the next right question, which I don't volunteer that, you've got to figure it out, opens up another door. And that's when we have a very serious conversation that goes like this. Look, I cannot function outside of Land. I can't. Now, I can go to the neutral zone and I can hop between neutral zones, but you're going to have to come into my world. I cannot go into yours. If your world is compatible with my world, then I can go into your world. But your world has to be compatible with mine. Because if it's not, my mental health suffers. That includes never using words like relationship or friend or masculine or feminine. Now, my ideal person is somebody who already knows what words should not be used, and he doesn't use them, which is why my partner is my partner, is because he doesn't use those words, which he decided shouldn't be used because they are unethical. and he has figured out what these words are, and he's good with them. And I'm over here going, wow, he's compatible with me. Because there are a list of words in our culture that we should never fucking use because they are unethical. But almost everyone uses them. So that's one of the things I look at. Most people can't do it. So most people have a significant boundary. Most people can make it to level 2. And that's as far as you can get, which means level 1s, level primary or intimate partner. I've got one person in that zone, and I've got my daughter and my son in that zone, and that is it. Not even my oldest daughter can make it into that zone because she's a level 3, third perspective. So I've got level 2s. That's where my think tank is located. Once you get into level 1 in my primary, that's when the privilege begins. And like I said, I've got 3 people in that space, just 3. So needless to say, I'm very lonely. Needless to say that I'm very isolated. And of the 3 people in that space, my primary partner, my partner is working some stuff out. And if he were to be in the right mindset of where he needs to be so that he and I can meet inside Anna Land, well, right now he can't. He's got to work out some stuff. So he cannot come into Anna Land, which means I live in Anna Land almost completely alone. And I'm sitting here in Anna Land going, I can lower my standards, which is going to cause me mental health. I won't do that ever again. Which means if I'm going to prioritize my mental health, and I do, I live in Anna Land alone. And this is the cost of my abuse. And that makes me angry. Well, it did. I stopped being angry. And then I finally got to the point where I said, it's not fair. I've done the most work. I have worked the hardest. I have come so far. And it's not fair. And I did this whole, what does that mean? It isn't just. It isn't just. There is something inside of me that just suddenly declared today, where is the diplomacy? Where is the justice? And there isn't. Why do we need this? Why are we driven to focus on the ethics of how much do I have to suffer before I can get my reward? Why do I have to pay a higher cost than everybody else? Why is it everyone else is okay having a lover and a partner and a little job in a society with all those people? Why can't I have that? Why did I have to be chosen to go through the fucking shit I went through? And why did it have to leave me incapable of even functioning outside of Anna Land? It's not fair. It's just not fair. And it's that moment where you look and you say, everyone else seems to have a lover that's not fucked up. And everyone else seems to be married in this beautiful setting, and I can't have that. Instead, I had to marry Plato and Aristotle and there is something healing. There is something resourceful about saying it's not fair. I am angry about the injustice done to me. And I was angry at the universe, just the universe. And I screamed at her. And I said, why? Why couldn't I? Why did it have to be me? Why did I have to be the one to lose everything, to go through all the shit I went through, only to get to this point where I'm only functional in Analand? And I see the reward that's going to come to me, and it is extraordinary. And I'm just going, okay, I know it's coming. And some days, especially on days like today, I feel like the universe is saying to me, I need somebody who can be strong enough to go through this fucking shit and actually break it down into theoretical comprehension for other people. Because someone has to do it. Because in the 4th century, we lost all of this knowledge. So I need somebody who loves this knowledge so much that all they do is learn the shit that was lost in the 4th century. And I'm going, really? So I'm having to piece together ancient knowledge, and my brain is going, oh yeah, it's so fun. And I'm putting this massive riddle and puzzle back together again. And I haven't even told you the best part. Like, there's so much to this left, and I'm still going, oh, wait till you see what's coming. All right, I will tell you what's coming, because this is the fun part. There is something in the world that got lost. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. But I know what it is. And it's going to be something I do very soon where I start to put it back together. But here's the problem. We've lost so much of it that almost none of it exists. It's all going to have to be logically put back together again. And it's vital. And it's dangerous. And it's important. And it's going to be so fucking awesome. But it's information that no longer exists. And I'm going to have to put it back together again. And you can only put this together if you have all the dots and all the lines. So I'm going to explain it to you like this. All the subjects in all the world, every one of them, economics, neuroscience, medicine, biology, astrology, astronomy, physics, mathematics, art, music, language, foreign language, linguistics, music, music theory, stage, theater, writing, books, literature, classic literature, history, all the history, early man, agriculture, all of them. Every one of these is a dot. Philosophy are the lines connecting each dot. Now, every person out there has studied one dot, maybe 3 at max. 3 dots. 3 dots. Or they have studied just the lines. I have studied 10 of the dots and the lines. So I'm putting it all together and I went, oh my God, it's a connected dots and it's a picture. And I'm the only one. No one else has seen this because you have to study 10 dots and the lines to start to see it. So now I'm going to study physics now, and I'm going to study Euclidean geometry, and I'm going to study mathematics. Those are my new lines. Those are my dots. So those are my dots. Those are what I'm studying now is mathematics, Euclidean geometry, and physics. Those are my new dots. And I'm plugging in my little dots. And I'm seeing how the lines that I've studied like a long time ago are connecting to those ones. And I'm going, oh, I'm almost finished. After this, I'm going to study astronomy, and I'm going to study chemistry, and I'm going to study biology, and I'm going to study, what am I missing? I have a few more. I'm almost done. I'm so excited. But there is one dot that we lost. One dot. that we totally lost. It does not exist. Right after the Roman Empire burned down the entire city of Alexandria, they passed a law and they made this one subject illegal. They destroyed it and banned it. That subject was Plato's astrology. It doesn't exist. You had to study astronomy and you had to study physics and you had to study Aristotle's metaphysics, which I have, to connect it. And when you have astronomy, physics, and metaphysics, then you plug in Plato's astrology, and it reveals something new. And I don't know what it is, but it reveals something else. And that is Plato's astrology. Now, the garbage astrology that's out there now, that's second perspective garbage. It's cute. It's religious rhetoric. It's garbage. It's parroted information, and it's not. It's not. Plato's astrology is different, very different. And I'm going. So we know what the word logi means. That means logic, logos, logic. But astronomy. Now, astronomy definition means celestial object space, physical unit as a whole. It's a branch. But I want to know what onomy means. Yeah, mathematics, physics, and chemistry. So I'm going to have to study mathematics, physics, and chemistry before I get into astronomy. So astronomy. Oh, it's the naming. That's what the word nami means. It just means the name. The area knowledge of the laws governing it, denoting a specified area of knowledge or the laws. Oh, okay, nami. So astronomy. Nami means, interesting, an area of knowledge or the laws of. So it's the laws astrophysics. And that's what I really think astrology is. I think astrophysics is actually Plato's astrology. No, let me take a look at that. No. Science that employs the methods and principles of physics and chemistry. Thermodynamics. Comparison of the element of solar and spectre. Oh, yeah, here we go. Let me look at Aristotle. Astronomy is an ancient science, long separated from the study of terrestrial physics. In the Aristotelian worldview, bodies in the sky appeared to be unchanging spheres whose only motion was uniform motions in a circle, while the earthly world was the realm which underwent growth and decay. Consequently, it was held that the celestial religion was made of a fundamentally different kind of matter from that found in the terrestrial sphere, either fire as maintained by Plato, or aether as maintained by Aristotle. During the 17th century, natural philosophers such as Galileo, Descartes, and Newton began to maintain that the celestial and terrestrial religions were made of similar kind of material and were subject to the same natural laws. But this information, when you get into astrology, by the way, this is metaphysics. This is what I do. This is real. This is what Aristotle called the first philosophy. And this is like the last. This is actually this is why we study philosophy, is what you're getting into. But in order to do this, you have to study all the subjects. So what this comes down to is there was a belief that was released called jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. That's bullshit. That's fourth perspective, glass ceiling, shrink you down to keep you a slave mindset. And once you start to realize what is inside that concept, you throw it away. So I'm looking at this whole thing, and this is my world, metaphysics. And my problem is I get a lot of men who are intimidated because I'm a 4'11" woman. And I get a lot of, and I have a high school diploma. By the way, I don't have a degree. I never went to college because, that's garbage. So they don't want to see a 4'11", 90-pound woman with a high school diploma outthinking them. So I have a lot of insecure men who argue with me and slap me down. I shouldn't exist. Yeah, I shouldn't exist. So when it comes to romance and dating and friendships even, most people, I require my friends to speak on a depth with me. And my friends need to be appreciative of these kind of really in-depth conversations, because small talk is not something I do. No. In Anna Land, there is no small talk. Small talk is something I do with people I love when I don't have the time to really delve deep into a 20-minute conversation on physics. Small talk is something that I only give to my friends because they are worth that dribble. I don't give that dribble to strangers who I don't even know enough to value. I'm going to say that again. I don't put myself through the suffering of small talk for a bunch of strangers who I don't even know well enough to endure the dribble. And that's exactly how I talk. So that if you were to meet me in person, and it's like people try to open small talk with me, and I go, no, I don't do that. And they go, what do you mean? I do not give strangers small talk. I love deep shit. And if you're not able or willing to talk deep shit with me, we're incompatible. Bottom line, I have a big mind and I need big-minded people, which is why I have my YouTube channel, which is why you're all here going, wow, I love your brain. And I'm going, yes, I love that you love my brain. And I would love to pick into your brain too. But people who have small minds do not come into my YouTube channel. Because yeah. Which is great because it's a really nice way of weeding out a lot. And the best thing about this is those people who are not capable to understand half of the stuff that I'm talking about don't have a value for education, and they don't have a value for being accountable to learn. So they're not my people anyway. And it's not my joy to work with those people. So I have this fantastic world of, I'm going to just work with 6 perspectives because they love my shit. And I love 6 perspectives. Love 6 perspectives. And then if a 6th perspective wants to go over there and work with the 4th perspectives, more power to them. Go right ahead. That's fine. So I love, yeah, I absolutely love this. Oh, one moment. I had a meeting that went over and I met with somebody and I lost another meeting and it snowballed, and now I'm going, yeah, I'll just reschedule. So I'm in a position where I'm stepping back and I'm doing this whole, it's not fair. And there's a hard road that you have to follow and there's an easy road. And I know I'm at a point where I'm finally like, life's been hard, hasn't it? Yeah, I get it. I know. It's been really fucking hard. And you have that moment where you just look at it and go, why does my road have to be so fucking hard? And there's people going, well, that's because you were meant for great things. Yeah, I know. I know I was meant for great things. And sometimes I didn't choose this. And I feel like I'm Frodo in the cave of Mordor. No, wait, not Mordor. Can't remember. But I'm in a dwarven cave. Good God, I cannot remember this cave's name and it's bugging me. Moria. I'm in the mines of Moria. And I'm going, it's not fair. I didn't choose this. And Gandalf was just sitting there going, no, we don't get to choose it. It's given to us and it's just thrown on to us. I just sat through an hour meeting with an agency. And the gentleman in the agency was not articulate enough to ask me the direct questions that he needed. And I could see all of the logical fallacy of his indirectness while he tried to navigate a formal argument to determine my character. I said, look, I know you're vetting me. Would you just please be direct? Because pretending that you're vetting me when you're vetting me, so you're being very wishy-washy about the questions, ask me what you want to ask me, because that's going to waste no one's time. And then he was like, well, you need to understand. And he gave me the runaround. And I'm like, I know. And I'm vetting you. And I'm not going to play around to pretend I'm not vetting you. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm already psychoanalyzing you. I'm already vetting you. What do you want to know? Just ask me the questions and be direct. It took him 40 minutes to ask the question, are you resourceful? Prove it. Are you coachable? Prove it. How committed are you? Now, I can answer those questions. And I'm thinking, why did it take you 40 minutes to just ask me those questions? And the reason why is because people lie. So he didn't want to ask me the questions. He wanted to ask the questions without asking the questions and then see how I could answer the questions, because he thought that that is how you determine if someone is lying, because he's incapable. He's naive on the psychology of lying. But the thing is, if you try and indirectly ask the question that you want the answer to, that's not going to tell you a jack of shit. So I think they purposely complicated the questionnaire to see how tolerant of their bullshit I would be. And at one point, I started to tell my story, and he shut it down and said, no, it's not that I don't want to hear your story, but I have questionnaires. And I'm like, sure, not a problem. And then we came back around to it, and I said, look, you're asking me questions. You want proofs of concept, but you don't want to be taken for a ride. You need to know if I have the discipline. He's like, I want to know your why. Well, then just ask me, what's your why? So I told him my why. And I told him a story about my resourcefulness. I said, you want to know if I'm coachable? Let me tell you something. I studied philosophy for 30 years. And in the first year of philosophy, you want to know what they teach you? How to shut your mouth and be coachable. So that's what I did for 30 years. You want to know if I'm resourceful? I have had to restart my life 10 times. And every time I restart my life gets bigger. 10 fucking times. I had to restart my life in 2015. I had to restart my life in 2020. I had to restart my life in 2021. I had to restart my life in 1995. I had to restart my life in 2001. I had to restart my life in 2022. And I had to restart my life in 2009. I tried restarting my life when I was 8. I made it 5 miles. And I restarted my life in 1990. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going, am I resourceful? I'm really good at restarting my life and building a magnificent empire out of nothing. Yeah, I'm resourceful. And when it was all done and said, I walked away from this discovery call and I realized I'm all done trying to convince people that I'm worth something. I don't do that. I don't do that. He was like, well, what are your work doing now that's not working? And I'm like, not working. It took him 40 minutes to finally say, well, you're not getting clients. Well, yeah, I haven't tried. I'm not trying to get clients. And he's like, well, then what are you trying to do? I believe in preparation. I believe in setting up all of the dominoes so that when I hit the dominoes over, boonk, they go and they fall right down exactly where I want them to. I've been setting up a chessboard for 30 years. The chessboard is complete. My last domino is in place. I'm just ready to knock this over. So I'm looking for a PR agent to knock down my dominoes for me. And when he was done, he was like, we're not an agency at all. We're just an evergreen program and we just teach you this stuff so you can be your own publicist. Wait a minute. I already have TV producers. I already have TV producers. I already am friends with book publishers. I am already friends with business executives. He's like, well, we're going to refine your message and we're going to. I don't think I need you. And I just stepped back for a minute and went, it's that moment when you realize you have all the resources you need. And all I really want no. Oh, it's about to get really real for me. If my partner invited me to marry him tomorrow, I would say to him, no, I love you, but I have a world to change. My goal is not to make money. My goal is to build a world where I and millions of sixth perspectives can actually function. Maybe. Maybe. The reason why you need to say the words, it's not fair, is because when you finally get angry about the injustice, what you are really doing is grieving the loss of simplicity. But we are told that it is selfish to say the words, "It's not fair." And we are punished to not say the words, "It's not fair." Because the words, "It's not fair," is a vital step in an emotional pathway. And the next stage after that is accepting that you do not have a simple life. It is grieving simplicity. No, it is grieving easy. And when you finally reach that point where you grieve easy, you accept that your road is hard. And that's when you become free. It is the last stage of resistance. It is the last stage of complacence. It is that moment you finally put everything down and you say, there will be no easy road for me. I am not meant for easy paths. It's not fair. Someone has to do it. And the universe decided that I had what it takes. I'm going to put guts somewhere on my body, just guts, guts. Now you've got what it takes. Guts. Now you've got what it takes. I had a game of Munchkin, and I like to make my own cards. And I had the card, guts. Now you've got what it takes. And I remember this one day, we were drunk, and we were playing, and Quinn, that's not his name, pulled it up and went, guts. Now you've got what it takes. Why do you have what it takes? Because you've got guts. Now you've got what it takes. Because you've got guts. Now you've got what it takes. And that's just playing over and over. Him just saying that over and over. It was like 5 minutes of him just guts. Now you've got what it takes. Because you've got guts. It was a +2 bonus card. And it didn't require any carry weight. You had guts. So your Munchkin player, when you're playing Munchkin, you got guts. Now you've got what it takes. Playing Munchkin with me is a hoot. Agenda to build friends, to play. Play friends? Playmates? I don't do that. At work, we build and we create. I don't play. Wow, that's interesting. To have fun. Oh, I see where my brain works now. Yeah, I have fun when I create and build. Work is my fun, which is why I don't need friends. So why do we have lovers and partners? Sharing. Oh, that was easy for me. Those are my sharing people. To share. So we have people who we create with, people we play with, and people we share with. Now, my partner is someone I share with. And my work people are people I build with. But those are my have fun people. Why would I ever have people to just play with? What else is there? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why we have friends. I don't understand them. If you want in my life, you're going to have to build with me. You're going to have to work with me. And if you're not working or building with me, if you're not creating something with me, sorry, I don't know what to do with you. And that's something I struggle with is people are like, well, be my friend. Okay, what are we building? What are we doing? Well, and I'm going, I see now. So there's agenda, working, friends, and lovers. And yeah, my partner is my sharing partner. He's the one I share with. Oh, sharing without cost. Oh, no, he's not just sharing, he shares without cost. Oh, no, he has paid his dues. That's why he has full access to me. His debts are paid. That's why he has full access. But friends, I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. Like, yeah, every one of my friends, we're working on something together. My friends are my coworkers. My coworkers are my friends. You want to be my friend? Oh, you're going to have to build something with me. No other way. I only work with my friends and I only play with my coworkers. Sorry, not sorry. And there's only one exception to this entire rule, and that is my children and my partner. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people cannot come into Analand because they don't understand my social map. There it is. I have my own social map, and it allows me to function beautifully with my sanity. Now, I can share it with you, and every time I share it with people, they go, "Oh my God, I love your social map. Can I have it?" Absolutely, yeah. It's on my website. It's called Anna's Social Map. I also have, what is it? I have my circle of trust. My circle of trust is one of them. Let me do this. Let's break it down because I have my circle of trust. And then I have it's Anna's relationship. Oh, where is it? That's a really good question. Oh, I know where it is. I think it's it's my relationship model. That's what I call it. It's my relationship model. My relationship model, yeah, is unique. And then I have my social map. So I have my social map, my circle of trust, and my relationship model. And this is the insanity, this is the sanity that I have had to rebuild in my own social structure to function beautifully and healthily away from all the psychological manipulation that goes on out there. So in Analand, we have a social structure and a social map, circle of trust, and a relationship model that is completely different than that insanity. And it's one of the requirements to Analand. So anytime anyone comes in here, I'm going, yeah, if you cannot conform to these three things, these constructs, it's incompatible. And what I get from people is they say to me, yeah, you have too many rules. No, this is hilarious. They are literally narcissist proof. Okay, so this is fun. My relationship model, my social map, and my structure, it has literally banned narcissist. It's not possible for any abuser. I'm going to have like rows of people going, "Can I have this?" Yes, you can have it. It's on my website. I will compose the rest of it. But I basically can't have any kind of abuse, narcissist, anything around me. And when I removed myself from the system, I went, yeah, I'm going to have to create. And so I used my beautiful brain to compose a social construct that literally is incompatible with abuse and narcissism. So every time someone tries to get close to me, I give them my social construct and I get one of two responses. I get, oh my God, I love this thing. Those are the empaths and the givers. And then the narcissists all go, oh, there's too many rules. I hate this. They throw it away and they dump me. And I went, yes. And it's literally the rules of the Anna land. I really shouldn't be upset about this. Now that I think about it, I need to see the other point of view. This is it. This is it. I have created an entire system that functions that is incompatible. So, this is how this works. This is why you have a mental illness. It is because that system is made for narcissists and you are incompatible with it because you're a giver. But when you come over into my society, I have my own social construct that's designed to literally weed out them. So they can't come in here. Now, they can if they mentally heal. And I have the franchises that I'm now setting up and sending out into the world going, you want the Healing Garden? Buy my franchise, and you're more than welcome to set it up. There's two ways you can do this. You can work with me directly and I'll work with you, or you can, if you want to be a light worker, you can buy my licensing fee and become a franchise of the Healing Garden and do your own thing. But I have a rule. There's like a process, and my social construct is implemented inside the garden because it's like, no, you're not allowed to access the network unless and until you've done the work. And it's designed to weed out people who are not accountable. You have to be accountable to go through the program. It's not compatible with a taker or an abuser's mind, which means if an abuser wants to get better, they have to fix their mind. They have to change their mindset to a student, humbled, open minded, kindness, ethical mindset. Then they can come in. I do have something I'm working on where if you're a narcissist and you want to get prepped for the Healing Garden, then I will have that. But that's something that's coming. I haven't put that together yet. But yeah, as soon as you become accountable, as soon as you hit the fifth and sixth perspective, you basically have the mindset all ready to go into the Healing Garden to heal. You're done. You're set. So no narcissist can get through without it correcting all of the problems. So that by the time you graduate from the Healing Garden, then you have to pass through the test. When you pass the test, it opens the door of the networking. Or you work with me directly and you can bypass the test. But you're not getting my network until I know you're done. So then you have access to my full network, and it's extraordinary. But it's like, it's fantastic. And the thing is, my network is like, you literally bypass all of the obstacles. You get easy street into celebrity, fandom, fame, fortune. You get literally everything handed to you and we just clean all the obstacles out for you. It's done. It's wonderful. So I think I want a tattoo right here. I just don't know what yet, but I feel it. I was going to get like viney bits that go like from here all the way down. Definitely, I feel it in my future, like all of this here. I feel it. Yeah, that would be compatible. This is where I start to draw on myself. I'll have my daughter do it, like draw on me from here all the way down. I want to see what that looks like. And yeah, I don't know yet. And then I'm going to have my wings. I haven't gotten my wings yet. Yeah. Boy, I feel solid. And this morning, I was talking to this lady, and she goes, I don't want to take away from what the work you're doing. She was so respectful, so humble. And she said, I don't want to take away the work that you're doing, but I would love to take it to integrate it with my program. And I said, that is exactly the future I want for the garden, where I just say, you want X, I will custom build you an exact program. And I will, and this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. It's going to be a custom built plan for your business. You basically put the order in. And then, yeah, so custom built business plan. And then I have the franchise code of order of operations. And then from there, you basically have to go through triadic healing. Like, you have to go through all of it. And yeah, this is only going to be available to people who do triadic healing. So it's going to be triadic healing. You have to go through the course yourself, and then you have the option to buy the franchise. Once you have the franchise, then it's okay. And there's going to be two paths for this. There's the you need healing, and then the you are healed and you're just getting the full education, the training. And I believe that honestly, when you get the training, you're going to go through it and you're going to put it on yourself, because that's what human beings do. And when you do, you have this moment of, oh, wow, that just clarified everything for me. Oh my God. And boom, boom, boom. And so that's it. And then from there, it's going to be a franchise fee. And so that's going to be available, is basically building up the franchise. And then the type of people, basically, yeah, like when it goes through, it's not a problem. And then once you're done at a certain point, then you basically get passed over to this is part one. And basically part one is what is available, is part one. After part one, you go over to part two, which is the oracle part. And that's where we bring you into the resource department, basically human resources. And when we do human resources, we figure out what your obstacles are, we troubleshoot it, and we put it together. And then we get that done for you. I'm probably going to do a training video and some worksheets. That's going to be part two, is the oracle. And then part three is going to be accessing the resources and being assigned a guide. And the guide is going to be from the franchise. So part one. So you basically, so part one is going to be the healing and the guide. So you go through the whole healing however they want based off of my operations. And then the healing stays with you, so you can't, your subconscious mind can't derail. And then when you are doing the oracle, you're with somebody. It's like a full panel of sit down and let's brainstorm this. Kind of like the Mayo Clinic. Somebody pointed that out the other day of, oh my God, it's like the Mayo Clinic, except it's for life. And it's like, yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, that's that. And then you have the option to go in and use whatever resources you want. But you have to graduate from that in order to get that plugged in. So, yeah. I even might put it to a point where maybe the number third, the resources, basically it's, like that's part of their network. It's like, all right, you're building up your network. And that's the other part, is when you franchise with us, I will be teaching you how to plug into a network. And the problem is you have to be a doer, and you have to be what's the other one? You have to be a doer and you have to be something else. I don't know. But yeah, I can feel it. It's definitely a feeling of I'm tired. All right. I need to shut down and just thank you so much. Thank you. And may the kindest of words always find you.